Stakeholders are intensifying calls for the swift passage of the Consumer Protection Bill. They note that its absence continues to undermine consumer rights and fair market practices. This comes alongside the launch of a research report on the state of the Ghanaian consumer conducted by CATS International. Daniel Sakite has more on this report.
The report, spanning 8 sectors including banking, electricity, water and telecommunications amongst others, revealed discontentment with services rendered and also limited knowledge by consumers on their rights and channels to address their grievances. Retired Justice of the Supreme Court and Board Chairman of CATS International, Justice Jones Doche, speaking during the launch of the report on the state of the Ghanaian consumer study by CATS International, says action must be taken on the findings. He also called for the passage of the Consumer Protection Bill.
Whether you are a service provider or a regulator, the least common denominator is that we are all consumers of each other's products or services. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is the hope that the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Agribusiness and Government will heed this call and pass the long overdue Consumer Protection Law this year. Such a law will provide a unified framework to protect consumers, bridge regulatory gaps and empower citizens to demand accountability from service providers.
West African Regional Director for CATS International, lawyer Apia Aduma Kukusi, on his part presented highlights of the report.
For example, in the aviation sector, whereas the Ghana Civil Aviation Regulation provides some relief to consumers in case your flight is cancelled, or let's say you travel and your bags don't arrive with you, there is a regulatory regime that governs this, but consumers are not aware. So there's a whole lot of consumer illiteracy. And I don't put the blame on the consumers. I put the blame on the regulators. Because one of the key issues with regards to consumer protection is what consumer education. And it appears that the regulators are not educating Ghanaians about their rights.
Meanwhile, Patricia Boatin-Bano, representing the Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, assured of government's commitment to passing the Consumer Protection Bill.
Government is committed to ensuring the Consumer Protection Law is passed, and the report by CATS International gives a fresh impetus to move forward the agenda of enacting the law.
For stakeholders here, passing the long-awaited bill will help safeguard the rights of consumers. For CNL Business, I am Daniel Sakite.